Alright, so welcome back to Because Why Not? Today we are making pemmican. It is a survival food made from dehydrated meats and generally dehydrated or dried berries and fruit, and usually suet or tallow. I couldn't find either, so I couldn't find lard either as well, so I'm using vegetable shortening. So you want a firmer fat. Can't use coconut oil or bacon grease. All of that would melt too quickly. So at too low of a temperature, you need a higher temperature fat. So I have some ground beef here. So I made what's called ground beef gravel. So you take ground beef and you fry it as you normally would in a frying pan. And then you rinse it out under hot water, then rinse it out under cold water, trying to get all the fats to drain away. Although we're putting it in fat, we don't want any of the fat that originally is from the meat. And then I pounced it or blitzed it in my Ninja food processor to get it down even smaller, so it's almost like a dust. One of them today, we're going to make a savory one. So this has a vegetable base instead of the fruit. It started off as a stir-fry vegetables. So we've got broccoli and baby corn, and onion and tomato. I think there's some mushrooms and beans and carrots and peas. Just a good mix of vegetables. And then we have our fat. So it's a pretty simple recipe. You take equal portions. So these have all been weighed out to 1.58 ounces. I'm only making small batch because I've never tried it before. So 2.5 ounces of fat. And first we're just gonna, I washed my hands so they're nice and clean. But just gonna mix up the fat. That's a really weird feeling. And just getting it squished. I might ask my helper here.
Yes.
Can you pour in the meat for me?
Ooh. What are we doing?
Pour that in.
Just all of it?
All of it. And yep, you just get your hands right in there. I've watched some videos of some Inuit native ladies doing this, and yeah, you just get in there. It just feels so weird. All right. Can I get your assistance again?
Of course. Keeping Ginger at bay. Ginger's the dog.
Can I get you to pour the vegetables in there?
Same?
Just dump it in.
You want me to remove it?
Sure. And then you can put the right there. Yep.
Small one?
That should be enough.
Would you like me to steak it?
That's up to you.
Do you need help again?
Can you grind a few grounds of salt in here? Yep. So there's
How
some.
much are-
Go 10 because there's not much in them. Yep. All right. So it doesn't look the most appetizing right now, and it still feels, well, goopy and dry at the same time. It's a really weird feeling. And that is pretty much it. So I'm just going to gather this all up. And
It does not look appealing.
no, it doesn't.
Not yet.
But the fat, the shortening in this case, usually old-timey, it would be suet or tallow. And it would usually be like caribou or buffalo, deer, maybe. We like this. We should get some of that venison out of the freezer.
Oh.
And, but whatever meat you have,
Yeah, I'll get it away.
and then you just portion it out. I'm doing it into this little Epicure Perfect Petites mold. I do not sell Epicure. Got friends who do. I like some of their products, like the silicone molds. They're great. But we're just going to portion this out, and then you put it to dry for a few days. And it will kind of solidify up. The meat and vegetables will absorb the moisture from the fat, and they will then be able to stay solid in their shape. So, a long time ago, they used native people as well as hunters and trappers that when they first settled in Canada and North America would rely on this out when they're hunting or traveling or just day to day to get them through the winter, as this is a way of preserving the meat and berries or other produce and having a nutrient-dense meal on the go. They would often even, if they were cooking a stew or a casserole kind of thing, would break some of these up to add flavor and nutrients. But there we go, that's it. One recipe of pemmican done. And I'm just gonna give a little taste here. Well, the meat is really hard and chewy, but as I've mentioned before, I'm in the military. I've already been up to Canadian Forces Station Alert, as my shirt says. But yeah, if the meat and the vegetables that I've put in here absorb some of that moisture, I could see this being a nice little snack for if you're out on a patrol. We have hours upon hours where we're stuck in a trench watch the trees to see if anybody's coming. And you just kind of rotate through that sometimes for days on end. And it's not very easy to get a meal out there. So I could see this being a good meal on the go. Okay, hi, we're back. So we just finished making our savory vegetable and ground beef pemmican. And now we're working on the fruit, sweet pemmican. So just like the other pemmican, we've got in our bowl, we have 2.5 ounces of our vegetable shortening because I couldn't get lard, tallow, or suet. I've got another 2.5 ounces of our ground beef gravel that all the fat has been washed out and totally dried. And then blitzed in the Ninja to make more of a powder. And then this time, instead of our vegetables, we have dried fruit. So it started off as dried peaches, dried blueberries, pineapple, strawberry, mango, watermelon, just a bunch of random dried fruit that I dried in my dehydrator. And again, it's blitzed down into smaller pieces and almost powdery. Some of it stuck to the bottom. The sugars in the dried fruit, even if it's totally dry, will sometimes make them stick together. So now we have all of that in our bowl. I'm gonna add just a little bit of sugar. It's probably a tablespoon. And back in with the hands. Again, nice clean washed hands. This was a clean bowl. And we squish. Oh, does that ever feel weird? And you just want to squish it all around, incorporate all of the meat and the fat and the fruit. It doesn't look too much different from the vegetable one. The main difference, just looking at it, is you can see the vegetable one is more green and the fruit one at the moment is more brown, just a little bit of a pinkish hue. So yeah, like I said, I'm doing a small batch of each because it's the first time making it and don't want to make a lot if we don't like it. All right, that looks good. And now we just portion it out. So this is a good protein, fruits, vegetable, vitamins. As you saw, there's no added preservatives or chemicals or anything. You can totally customize it to whatever flavors you enjoy. There's obviously 1/3 fat. But if you're out hiking, fishing, camping, or in a survival situation, or food, any sort of food scarce information, this would probably even be good to keep in your vehicle. Get trapped on the highway, trapped in a snowstorm, or just on a long trip and forgot the snacks. Car snacks are always good, but this would be good to keep in like a first aid kit. And looks like there we go. Looks like we got 9 bars in each, which makes sense. But we'd get the same number of bars. And I think this size will be a nice size for these. It's not, although tasting the vegetable ones, it tasted good, but I don't know if I'd want a lot. I could see it being quite filling. But it's meant for a snack on the go for survival. And I'm just gonna give the fruit one a taste. I like that. The fruit, I can really taste the blueberry is what sticks out the most. But blueberry and dried meats often go very well together. It is quite crunchy still. And that will soften as the meat and the fruit absorb the moisture from the fat. And they will harden and hold their shape a bit better. So, and as you see, I've already pulled out one from the vegetable one, and it actually is holding its shape quite nicely. So, let them sit out for 24 hours, and then wrap them in parchment paper. I wouldn't use paper towel, but parchment paper, and then keep in a vacuum sealed bag or a sealed Tupperware, an airtight container. And they can last months to years. So a nice, quick, super easy survival snack on the go. So this was Because Why Not? Don't forget to like or subscribe, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook. Again, page is called Because Why Not? And we'll see you next time.